Welcome back to Tahoe Tonight. One of my favorite things, the history around our area here in Lake Tahoe. With me this evening, David Borges, chiropractor. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Kristen.
Good to see you. You're also a Tahoe historian. I love it when you come in the studio. I could sit and chat with you all day long.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, and a lot of information. My goodness, and it's fascinating. Yep. I'm from Incline Village. How did Incline get its name?
Well, it actually got its name from the tram of the loggers that went from the base of Lake Tahoe, and they took the wood up the hill to get to the flume. And they call that the incline.
So the flume is what goes across, actually. That's the famous mountain bike now, the trail.
The Flume Trail, the same
cleared.
Flume Trail that comes from Marlet Lake, goes to Incline Village and Tunnel Creek. And they had a tunnel there where the flume and the incline met. And they put the logs into that flume, into that tunnel. That tunnel is 4,000 feet long.
Yeah, it is actually. I run that several times a week. There is actually a tunnel that's now closed off.
It's closed off because it's caved in. But it still could work if you opened it up. But that's how they got the wood from Lake Tahoe on the North Shore into Washoe Valley. And then once they got to Washoe Valley, then they made it lumber. And then from lumber, they took it over to Virginia City to shore up the Virginia City mines.
For the mining?
For the mining. That's what all this was all about.
Wow.
Also, the water that came from Marlet Lake into this incline went into Hobart Lake, and from Hobart Lake, it had an inverted siphon to get to Virginia City. That's how Virginia City actually gets its water.
Fascinating. Now, I know going over to Spooner Lake, there is a plaque actually there that talks about the engineering that went behind into building this and it being so profoundly intricate for the times that they were in. It's really fascinating. How did they get these logs up the hill?
Well, it was through the tram. It's a wooden tram. And they put wood on one side of the tram, and the car would go up the hill, up the incline, and then unload the logs up there, and then it'd come back down, and it'd just do it again, repeating day in and day out, log in and log out until they got enough logs up there. And it was just fascinating that was one of the ways they got the logs out of Lake Tahoe. As they put the water, some of the logs went into the water of Lake Tahoe, and they brought them out, and then they put them up the incline or they went up Glenbrook, and that's another subject.
You got to come back again tomorrow.
We'll talk about that later.
So these were pines, correct?
Yes. They used whatever was available. They had several species of trees, and they used firs, and they used pines, and anything what the product would be used for. They had cedars, all kinds of things that they.
So they did. Okay, I was under the impression they used just the one kind of tree because of the strength of the wood. There was other kinds of wood that was softer. Yes, and what they used with the other woods is they'd fill up the boilers and make the steam engines run with the other types of wood that they wouldn't. Wow. So they had different things they used with the different woods. How long did this run for?
Well, the Virginia City mine stopped in the late 1890s, so probably the late 1890s is when that probably stopped. But that flume was there for many, 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 many years. And it just, I think it was the last 50 years when it closed down. Fascinating. My goodness. Can people get more information on this? Are you still teaching your class? I'm teaching a class. We're in class number 5 this Thursday evening at Lake Tahoe Community College. And we just have a good fun time. We just talked about this, actually. This is absolutely fascinating. Come back and see us again soon. Thank you so much for coming in. You're very, very welcome. It's always great having you. Great Lake Tahoe history here with David Borges, chiropractor in town. Great for all kinds of fascinating information. We have more Tahoe Tonight coming your way in the future right after this.